Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hi. Welcome into the chat. I'm trying a different location tonight, so hopefully you can see me and hear me okay. Let me know in the chat if you can. I can see lots of people coming on. I'm sorry I'm running a bit late because I actually cabled down to this area. So testing a few different locations for the work we're doing. So let's have a look. Heaps of you in the chat. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry you've been having a great time in there without me. So hello, everyone, and welcome. Let me say a few highs while everyone's joining. So hi, Suzanne. Hello and welcome. Suzanne was at our adoption day helping out with huge thanks to her and our other volunteers the other day. Carolee, hello. Yes, we've got a lot to talk about tonight. Really, really amazing chat. And boy, have I got some things to share with you. So it'll be great. So Carolee, let's just see. Had a piggy with kidney failure who suffered from dermatitis. Yeah, let's have a look. Jake, sounds awful. It is awful. Absolutely. We'll touch on all of that tonight. And we're going to be flying through the information. So hello, Jake. Hi, Carolee. Tell me where you're from, everyone, as you pop on. I can see the numbers jumping up. Hello, Paradox. Yay. Hello. Suzanne. Excellent. No, we haven't set a time as yet. And the reason for that, Rachel, is that I'm not sure what time I'll be setting off from here, but I imagine around midday with you. So I've yet to confirm it. If we can confirm Thursday, that would be great. So I'm aiming for around midday. Okay. I'm just racing through and down through the chat. You've been very busy in here, my goodness. Okay, can everybody hear me? Let me know in the chat. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Am I coming through to you? Yes? No? Not hearing any responses there. Maybe you can't. Awesome. Thanking you very much. Thanking you very much. Okay, so let's dive right in tonight. So tonight's chat is all about feet. And we're talking not about our own feet, but of course, guinea pig feet. And there's loads and loads to actually share with you in this area because you've seen lots of videos, you see lots of content on very specific things, but there's lots of awareness to raise in this area with guinea pigs. The main reason being that everybody looks at the top down on the guinea pig and not really at the feet underneath. And we need them to start doing this. We need everybody to know how to pick them up, how to check them, what to look for and what's going on. So I'm just going to share with you a little screen here. Hold on. And this gorgeous little fellow is, let's get him on the screen for you. He's already there. I'm just going to play this for you. Hold on.
Come on, sweetheart. Hello. Come on. Hello. Gorgeous. Hello. Hello. Hey, gorgeous. Come on. Hello. Good boy.
Okay, and of course, that little gorgeous fellow right there is Kevin, who has since passed on, actually, only last year. But that's me playing with him. And I wanted to share that little video because it shows typically what people see with guinea pigs, and that is the top down. They don't look at what's actually going on underneath, and they don't necessarily look at their movement in relation to that. So let's start taking a peek at some feet. People have mentioned podermatitis in the chat, otherwise known as Bumblefoot, and other issues over there. We're going to touch on all of those and more. So let's start firstly with some images. Let me get this new group for you. Here we are. First thing we're going to talk about, and I'll share this screen in just a moment. Here we go. Let's get it shared. That one, this one. Here it comes. Okay. All right. So we're looking at some little feet here. And this is a very interesting foot to look at for a number of reasons. But you'll notice, for starters, it's a black toe-nailed guinea pig. And this is often of concern to people as to how to trim nails that are black without cutting into the skin or the bloodline area. So knowing the feet and the coloring of your feet, the coloring of your guinea pig's feet is really sort of part of the basics. But for a lot of people, these dark nails scare them. And this is something we have to address and overcome. What I wanted to point out in particular, though, is this third digit here, because you'll notice it actually consists of 2 digits in one. So it actually splays out on the left and then on the right. So we actually have a really interesting nail here, which is divided. It only should be one nail like this, but in fact, it has 2 double-edged nails. So these sorts of issues on your guinea pig's feet can cause potential issues. So that's one sort of thing to look at. By the way, how many, we'll come back to paws and things in a moment, digits and paws, but okay, let's continue moving through. Long nails, when they get really long, of course, they get really curly. And when they are dark like this, you don't necessarily see all that is going on. But if you do look carefully, you'll notice some real rigidy, bumpy behavior occurring here above the nail. So not only are these long, long, long nails, but we've also got this skin area, which is really sort of ruffled and in appearance. You can see the white flakiness of that. That is fungal on feet. Okay, this one here is Bumblefoot dermatitis. And in fact, you can see it's a very swollen little paw, really awful. And for this little piggy, very sad indeed to find them in this state. I'm just seeing if no, I didn't miss one. Okay, just going back. So this little girl came into us, and of course she was bleeding from that area. It was very swollen, and this is the initial appearance of her as she came into rescue. And quite often we see Bumblefoot in this way, where a little paw is very swollen, very distorted in appearance, often bleeding, often not, a bit smelly sometimes, sometimes with discharge. And we'll actually come back to speak on this a little bit more in depth because it is a really serious issue. Okay, again, we have another little digit here. And this is a rear foot that has 3 digits. But again, you can see this strange anomaly here where the middle digit actually has 2 individual nails occurring. We've often seen that. It's not common. It isn't common, but it's always that middle digit when we do see this on the rear foot. Here's a close-up. Okay, also talking about rare feet, we can have odd numbers of digits appearing on either the front paws or the rear. And you can see here these rear feet actually have 4. So they've got these little additional digits on the side. And these digits are often known as polydactyl feet because they've actually got, I guess the name polydactyl, it just means an extra toe, and in some cases can be more. We usually just see the one extra, and it's always usually on the outside of the foot, and it's always on both rear feet. So we don't see one foot with it and one without. We see both feet with that. And we'll come back to polydactyl feet in a moment. There it is up close. Now with polydactyl feet, in the past we had heard of people just cutting off that little digit, and that is, a dreadful thing to think of or to hear. Sometimes there is a bone formation there, but usually there isn't. And that little digit if it gets caught on substrate or things that it's the guinea pig's moving around on, it can break the little digit and it can go off at an angle, and we have those surgically removed. So much better done under a general anesthetic, very easily dealt with. So some of the horror stories of the past. And you can see here, red feet. See this redness around the base of the feet? Sometimes that can become really quite severe. And in this instance, not as severe, but it's certainly forming there. But redness is another issue that often people become confused about, because they often think of it as, whoops, we jumped one then, didn't we? Because people often come to me saying, oh, have we got a case of bumblefoot? But it's not. It's actually just red paws. And there's a reason behind that, which we'll touch on and how to address it. Okay, this little paw here, you can see, again, very long distended nails. And if you look carefully between the front digits down in this region, you can see the white scaliness. So we've got some fungal activity occurring on those little paws. If it's on one paw, it's usually on all paws. Again, you can see it. See how it's really clumped in there, under here, down here? Okay, I think that's brought us to the end of that one. Let's come back. Okay, did everybody see that? Let me know in the chat if you were able to see those visuals. Yeah, Youch is right. Oh, the bumblefoot reminds you of the bee sting. Yeah, quite often it looks like that too. It's just pure swollen, so sore for piggies. Yeah. Oh, great. Thank you, Suzanne. Yeah, and as guinea pigs grow older, their nails grow faster and much more thick in shape. They also tend to corkscrew around a little bit. So we often see them really corkscrewing when they come in as long nails, and we need to keep an eye on them. So you need to trim them more regularly as guinea pigs age rather than initially, because it does take time. So when we're talking about feet and feet issues, initially, sorry, I'm just getting comfy here. Often people will say, my guinea pig has bumblefoot, and they'll pop it up in the forum, and a picture of the foot is actually just red on the base of the foot. This is a little bit like urine scald, and it's not bumblefoot. So what it means is a little bit of redness caused from the urine that's actually on the bedding, and usually damp conditions or cages that need a bit more regular cleaning need this sort of attention. Once you sort of get a bit more a bit faster with that and aware of where they're sitting all the time, then that redness goes away. What we can do with little red feet is put a barrier cream on there to protect them in the meantime. And there's lots of them. You'll hear every time it goes in the forum, someone will say manuka, someone will say, manuka honey, calendula. There's so many of them we can use. All of them act as a barrier, and they work. Pawpaw is another one, work as a barrier on the foot. Some of them are super sticky though, and that's a problem if you've got hay shavings, because it sticks to their feet. We don't need to wrap their feet. If their feet are red like that, we don't wrap them. We don't do anything like that. We look at the substrate of the cage and make sure that it's clean and dry and comfortable and not too scratchy. So that's the way that we address red feet. It is not bumblefoot. Yeah, using fleece, but we often get guinea pigs who have red feet who are on fleece, and often they're guinea pigs that are hiding away. They're, the sort of guinea pig that wants to sit in a particular area, so they urinate in that area, so it's much damper in that area. Therefore, their feet on the surface is in more contact with it. So making sure that if a piggy is staying in a typical area, that you've put fresh pads under that area will help them if they've got red feet like that. Okay. All right, and some cream. So you can add your pawpaw cream, you can add your others on there. Okay, so we have got spurs. Who's heard of foot spurs? Hopefully you've seen some of the videos on foot spurs. Yep. Foot spurs are always on the front paws. They're never on the rear paws, and they look like an extra digit. So if this is a guinea pig's paw, they're going to be out the far side on each paw, left and right. And they're also symmetrical. So just like when we talked about polydactyl toes, spurs are also symmetrical. So you'll also get them on both sides. If you're not seeing it on both sides, the guinea pig may have actually bumped it off, or it's broken off because it was so long. Now, yeah, bumping foot spurs off, the foot spur itself is actually made of a keratin substance, just like your nails, and you can cut into it. There's no nerve sensation or feeling. So you need to cut them back level with the foot and be very careful cutting them back. So you can watch some of the videos we've put out on how to do that. But what I would say is that if the guinea pig is running around and has bumped or torn one of those off, then it can actually injure the foot pad. And that's when the pad is then open to infection. If you haven't noticed it's torn that spur off and hurt its foot, that potentially can be a problem. Yeah. So again, we just typically clip them off, neaten them up. If there is damage to a foot and it is, been torn in any way, we can use betadine. Betadine is a great solution for feet. Any questions on spurs? No? Okay. So how many toes, digits, do guinea pigs have? I think most of you would know this. Maybe people who are new here, and we've got quite a few in the chat tonight, but we have 3 in the rear feet. We have 4 in the front. So the digit number is different, and sometimes on the rear foot you can have that polydactyl toe occurring, and you can also have, you can actually have extra toes as well, digits, which I might get to show you some photos of. So there's some really interesting ones, and these are really more anomalies than anything. They're they're quite unique when we come across them. It's not common. So we'll see if we've got, so I did get some photos. I'm not sure if I've put them on here. Let's have a look. Okay, so what we're going to look at now is Bumblefoot. And Bumblefoot is a condition that a lot of people worry about, rightly so, because it can become really serious if it's not picked up quickly. But Bumblefoot is essentially, in that first image where you saw a swollen foot that has infection in it. So Bumblefoot is always infection based, and it results in an abscess being formed. And when the abscess is formed on the foot, if it is left untreated, it can become very, very serious and then travel up the bone and into the entire length of that arm or leg, which can actually result in amputation if it's at its worst form. If left untreated at that level, it does result in death. So it's not often we get piggies that are that severe in, but we do get them, and you've seen a few of them come through on the videos. So, Rachel, some of your piggies are ticklish on their feet. Yeah, absolutely they are. Definitely very sensitive down there. And that's a good point actually too, because guinea pig feet don't have fur. And a lot of new owners tend to think of guinea pigs in the same way that they do rabbits, but rabbits usually, or in fact always, have a furred foot. There's a couple of types of breeds of rabbits that don't have guard hairs and things, but yeah, they often think of that, but guinea pigs never have fur on their feet, which means that their skin is always in contact with whatever they're walking on. And this becomes a real issue if we haven't given them the right surface to walk on. Okay, so let's take a look at Bumblefoot. And we're going to do that. Let's just get this little screen for you. Okay, give me a moment to share it for you. comes. Okay. And this little girl here, very typical sort of scenario that we see with Bumblefoot. And most people, again, are not aware of the severity of the issues underneath the guinea pig because they're nursing them, holding them, seeing them fully furred, looking apparently comfortable, and without picking them up, do not find what's going on underneath. So if we take a quick peek underneath, this little girl has some very, very sore feet. And you can see we're dealing with dermatitis, we're dealing with Bumblefoot. Play this little clip, which is the first initial look at them.
Please lift this foot up for me. Okay. Oh, little girl. And this paw over here. Oh, two little paws. In a bit of trouble. Oh dear, poor Whitey.
So not very good, and that's actually her little friend. Both of them came in together. So the first little girl, this is her paw, and you can see the paw is very oval in shape. It's very warm to touch usually, which is indicative of the infection that's in it. And you can see the actual outline of the abscessed area, which is very, very large and continues to get larger unless treated. This is the second girl and the abscess that she had on her foot. You can see it's very dry in appearance, not as moist looking, but no question, this is still the same thing we're dealing with here. It's a different view. Okay. Sad cases, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah, so when we're dealing with Bumblefoot, it is really severe. It is really nasty. We do need to treat their feet in a particular way. And if you look at the most recent video we've got up on Jefferson, you can actually see how we've done that. And there's more to come with Jefferson to update you. I just haven't been able to build them fast enough. So, yeah, just take a peek at Jefferson and you'll see that video. There's many of them on the channel you can look at. But the things that we're concerned about when Bumblefoot first comes in is the extent of the infection and whether the guinea pig needs immediate antibiotics. Usually at the level I've just shown you, absolutely needs to have antibiotics and needs to have veterinary care to ensure that it's not traveled up the limb, which is what we then term myelitis. So it gets really quite nasty. What causes Bumblefoot? And I often get questions like that. What causes it? There are, in fact, a number of causes. The most obvious that you hear people say are wire floors and wire floor caging. Now, that was something in the past. Oh, thank you for putting that up, Suzanne. That's great. So the Jefferson link's down there below. If you want to see Bumblefoot being treated, hop in there and have a look after. But if you think about the way that your limbs are designed to work, if they're working in a different way, the pressure on those limbs becomes different. So again, guinea pig foot, if the guinea pig foot if the leg has been broken, for example, and the angle is now different on the foot and they're walking on an area that they shouldn't be, that will cause inflammation and swelling local to that area. Now, if there is any sort of break to that area, because again, the skin is swelling, it's sore, they can't get off their feet, they're not being helped, the skin is likely to get a scratch at some point, infection gets in, and that's when it really takes hold. So in that instance, Bumblefoot is taking place due to another injury. So it's secondary to a primary injury, and we often find this. If we go back 10 years ago, it was more common to see things like wire cages. We're not seeing them now as much, which is fantastic because they were absolute death traps for guinea pigs. But their little feet walking on wire all the time hurt their feet, and it was purely, it was responsible for Bumblefoot. So there's a couple of different things there to consider that actually cause Bumblefoot, and usually it's within that range of what's happened. So it's either to do with their motor mechanics, so they've had an injury, they have to walk differently, or it's to do with the flooring that they're actually on, which needs to be changed. Now, once they actually have Bumblefoot, the treatment of that is definitely a course of antibiotics and definitely vet assistance or assistance of some sort by experienced carers, so that you can stay on top of and know what you're doing, because the infection has to be brought down relatively quickly. And from there, the skin has to actually repair and cover and close. And that abscess gets smaller and smaller and smaller until it fully recovers. And we have many, 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 many instances of recovering really severe cases of this. So you can absolutely get on top of it. It also means you need to look at their substrate and where they're sitting, how they're moving, those sorts of things. Sorry, I'm a bit uncomfortable here. I've changed this location. It's hurting my knee. So, yeah, get a sore knee. So I hope that answers a lot of questions for you there. There is another scenario with Bumblefoot, and that is to do with age, because as guinea pigs age, they are more susceptible to things like arthritis, to movement issues, again, and all of these impact on motor skills. And when guinea pigs are not moving in a natural way, their body then starts to develop pressure in different areas. So that can cause a problem, and in other words, Bumblefoot as well. So age-related illness is another potential cause for Bumblefoot if they've got issues in that area. Okay, so I think I've put loads and loads of information out there for you. Do you have any questions? Any questions, or anyone you want to come on and share anything with me? You can share online here tonight. We're having a quick chat. I've actually got about 12 minutes to go, so not long. You're very quiet tonight. We've got quite a few of you there. So we had a couple of interesting piggies in on the weekend that we can update you with as well. We've got Carolee. Pepper had arthritis in her front feet, but Missy has no arthritis. Excellent, yeah. So arthritic piggies with arthritis, they do walk differently. So keeping on top of pain management and some light massage and movement can actually help with that. Help with that enormously. Yeah. So then it won't eventuate into anything else. Yeah, because potentially it can cause pressure sores, which lead to Bumblefoot. The first sign of that is reddening of the skin. So the minute you see reddening, start to use some gentle massage, some calendula, some pawpaw cream, some honey manuka. All of these are great solutions. We can even go to medicated solutions if we need to, but they're a great place to start, and they're openly accessible to anyone wherever you are in the world. Sorry, I didn't really get to catch you too much of your last live. Oh, I know it was. Thank you. It's lovely to say hi as well. Yeah, it was. It's a funny time zone. Let me know in the chat, because I'm actually seriously thinking of making this time an 8 a.m. chat. I know I put a questionnaire onto the live stream about it being. Oh, sorry, it's my knees are giving way. So I know I put a question into the dashboard area about what time you would like the weekly chat to be. And the majority actually said 8 o'clock at night. But do you know what? 2.5% of the audience here on YouTube is Australian. 2.5%. Like, where are the Aussies? Honestly, where are the Australians? 2.5%. The bulk of people on this channel are in America and Europe. And for that reason, I think that 8 a.m. might be a better time zone for you, because if you're up and about, I think it might be better for you. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on that, because I was surprised to hear that. If we look at Facebook, it's very much the reverse. So Facebook has a huge Australian following, and it's the reverse. So we sort of have audiences all over the place, but for YouTube, large American following. So let me know on the chat. Yeah, absolutely. So Suzanne is saying massage equals quality time as well as interaction. Absolutely. And for any guinea pig that has arthritic limbs, it really does help. It actually starts to move the circulation around, move the blood flow. They're feeling a whole lot better. Yeah. So Carolee says, in Aussie, I like the nighttime as I watch you. Why my learner driver has hockey training. Oh, awesome. I have a learner driver too. He might be watching. I don't think so. But how's it going, Carolee, with that? We're doing okay. We're doing okay. We're doing all those hours. It's a big thing. Any parents supervising learner drivers, it's a big step. Yeah, definitely. So let me know in the chat what you'd like. I might actually put another questionnaire up and see if it's actually changed, because there is such a big following. So I'm not really sure which way to go. I just want to keep you guys happy. Keep you all happy. Yes, the Aussie population is tiny compared to the USA. Quite right. Yeah, and we've got a lot. I mean, in fact, if you're watching right now, what I would like you to do, which would help this channel be found more by the Aussies as well as everyone else, is to click on the like button and share. So while I've got you, please click on like and share, because it will help it be found. But, we are getting a lot of views in America, which is great. I'm happy to be helping piggies wherever they are, which is the main thing. So Jake says, time-wise for me would work best at about 5 a.m. 5 a.m.? Do you know, Jake, I went to bed at 5 a.m. last night, and often do. But yes, it was 5 a.m. So I was up and going to bed at that time. Crazy. We actually had a lot going on here that I was delayed in getting to, that needed some attention. So... Okay, Jackie, hello and welcome. Jackie says, in the UK, I have an arthritis boar and I do hydrotherapy with him. He loves it. Yeah, you can do that. You can support them in that. Again, it's very similar to us, but it's that massage and movement that's really good. You'll also find that CBD is very helpful with regard to arthritis, because you can actually rub it directly on that muscular area and it's effectively absorbed, but you can also do the ears. So you can do both local effect with that. It is very helpful. For anyone out there that is using meloxicam, it's a pain relief that is given, and quite often for guinea pigs with arthritis. But meloxicam is a drug that you have to repeatedly obtain through the vet. But in terms of a guinea pig, if it's not mobile, it may not be drinking as much. So it can become dehydrated. And when guinea pigs are dehydrated, you cannot give them meloxicam. It actually impacts the liver. So you have to be careful with that one. So just be careful for any piggies that have been prescribed that, because long-term use, you might be better to move to something like CBD, which is what we do here. We use a hemp cream. I should actually put the link up, because the one that we use here now is actually an Australian developed product, and it's absolutely brilliant. The one I have been using for like 20 years recently stopped being available, and it's very, very frustrating. But we have, for the last 6 months, been using a different one, and it's brilliant. The link will soon be up for you. So Carolee says she mixes meloxicam with freshly squeezed mandarin juice and use CBD as well. Yeah, just I guess the real warning there with meloxicam is the impact if an animal's dehydrated. Be aware of that one. Well done. Meloxicam is very effective. It really is. It is a well-known, well-proven drug. So Jake says, Esther has full black nails. It can be hard to cut them at times. Yeah. Jake, have you seen the video on how to do that, where we towel wrap them in a V shape? Because that is absolutely fail safe. You cannot hurt them. And where people do cut too far and hurt their digits, that can lead to bumblefoot because of the infection in and around that area. So it's really important never to cut too far in the nails. I often hear people say, oh, it would have hurt, but it's okay. It's not okay. It's like chopping off the end of your finger. It's not okay. It would really hurt, really be sore. I wouldn't like it. I don't think anyone would. Yeah, so there's actually something new as well coming out, Jake. Should be out in the next few days with nails where I've really broken it down. So take a look at that one very, very soon. Hey, Oscar. Good to see you. You've got reception up there? Oh, Rachel, yes, definitely. Have you got to meet Scooter yet? So I did take a photo of Scooter. I don't think I sent it to you because it was 5 a.m. in the morning when I took the photo. So didn't think you'd appreciate that, but I'll send you Scooter a little bit later. Paradox is Rachel. You met Rachel yesterday, Suzanne. It's Sunday. I'm losing days. My goodness. Suzanne had an 8.5-year-old male given an extra 6 months of quality life with the use of meloxicam. Yeah, absolutely. It's a well-known drug. It's got a good solid history of use. But again, it is veterinary supplied. And yeah, if it's only unsuitable if guinea pigs are likely to be dehydrated. That can cause a problem. So yeah, just be aware of that. Not everyone's aware of that, and just trying to spread that message a little bit, which is great. Okay, well, I hope you have enjoyed this evening's chat. We've covered quite a bit on feet and feet issues. Are there any more questions on that before we go? I love meloxicam too. It's actually a really effective drug. It is. But yeah. Any more questions? And we're going to close on out for tonight, the end of the weekly chat. I do love chatting with you on a Tuesday. If you're watching this in the replay, as many people do, please put your comments down below. You won't be able to put them there in the active chat, wherever that's appearing, but you can pop them down below because I do check your questions and I will answer them for you. If you have particular things you'd like to cover, again, put them down below because I'm happy to do that. And we can go from there. So thank you very much to our moderators who are in the chat helping tonight. There's a few of you there. I appreciate you. And thank you, everyone, for coming along tonight. I look forward to seeing you again. We'll be live on Sunday at the next Adoption Day and, of course, the next weekly chat. So take care for now, everyone, and good night.